Tina's Maths. I teach CBSE 10 Maths. This is my sister Tina Lovers. She teaches 8 Maths. Alright, now let's jump into the video. Today we are going to be learning exercise 4.1, second question, fourth subdivision. So this is the last subdivision. Alright, now let's read the question. A train travels a distance of 480 km at a uniform speed. If the speed had been 8 km per hour less, then it would have taken 3 hours more to cover the same distance. We need to find the speed of the train. Okay, so as you guys can see in this question, there is a train which is traveling of 480 km, and then if the speed had been 8 km per hour less, then it would have taken 3 hours to cover the same distance. Okay, so in this question it is mostly kind of like speed, time and distance. Okay, of course in physics you guys might have studied about speed and its formulas and those stuffs. Am I right? So here also we have distance, speed and time. So here the character is about train. Okay, so it is covering a distance, but they are just saying that if the speed is 8 km per hour less, then it would have taken 3 hours. It would have taken 3 hours to reach the same distance. Okay, so we are supposed to find the speed of the train. So as you guys know, we don't have the speed of the train, so we are going to be taking, let the uniform speed be x. Okay, so why am I taking uniform speed? Well, because when you just see at the first line, here it is a train travels a distance of 480 km. Here the distance is 480 km at a uniform speed. So here we have uniform speed. We don't know the uniform speed value. Am I right? So first we are going to be taking uniform speed is x. Okay, so now let us write that. So as you guys know, we are going to be taking the uniform speed as x. Okay, so let us write x. So I took the uniform speed, let it be x. Okay, so as you guys know, now the uniform speed is x. So now what we are going to do is, we are going to be looking at the first sentence. So whatever you go, whatever statements you are going through, first of all we are supposed to solve it step by step. Okay, especially for these kind of questions. Okay, so first we shall look at the first sentence. So this is the first sentence. So here we have some clues. We have 480 km, that is the distance. So here they had mentioned the distance. So when you just look at this question itself, you guys can think that there is a formula for it. Why? Because here everything is about speed, time and distance. So we can just apply a times formula. So as you guys know, time is equal to distance by speed. Am I right? So this is the formula. Okay, you guys should learn this formula. Okay, so time is equal to distance by speed. So as you guys know, in this question they haven't mentioned the time, but we are supposed to find the time. For that we are going to be using this formula. Okay, so what we shall do is, we shall write time is equal to, so here according to the formula, time is equal to distance by speed. So what is the distance? So the distance is 480 km. Am I right? So let us write 480. So the distance is 480 km. So I just wrote 480 and then divided by speed. Okay, so here you guys might be wondering whether they are talking about the uniform speed or a normal speed. Okay, so you guys might be confusing with that. Don't worry. Okay, so until here we just got only one speed, that is this uniform speed. Am I right? So we took uniform speed as x. So we can just write divided by x. Okay. Okay, don't get confused between uniform speed and this speed. Okay, so this is a formula. Here whatever they had mentioned speed, but according to the question they had mentioned uniform speed, but we took uniform speed as x. So we can just take the x as it is. Why? Because uniform speed is x. Okay, don't get confused in this. So now as you guys know, So the time value is 480 divided by x. Am I right? So we just solved the first statement. Until here we just solved it. So we are going to be looking at the second one. So if the speed had been 8 km per hour less. So till here this is the second statement. Then after that they had mentioned about the 3 hours. 3 hours means of course it is about time. Am I right? So here the second statement is speed had been 8 km per hour less. So they are just saying that what if the speed had been 8 km per hour less. That means if the speed is less than 8 km per hour, then how much hours it might have taken to reach the same distance. So it had taken 3 hours. Okay. So they are just concluding, they are just guessing that how much hour it will take to reach the same distance. Okay. But here they had mentioned the speed, if the speed had been 8 km per hour less. So here we can just do something, we can just find the speed. So what we can just do is we can just write speed is equal to, so of course you guys know we took speed as x, am I right? So we can just write the x as it is, and then here it is 8 km per hour less. So here we have something that is less. Less means of course you guys know that means subtraction. So we can just write x minus 8. Why? Because as you guys know it is subtraction. Okay. So as you guys know we got x minus 8. Okay. So x minus 8, and then we can just write kilometer per hour, that is important. Okay. We shall write bracket kilometer per hour. Okay. So here also we just found the time, am I right? So we just found the time. So it is 480 divided by x hour. Okay. Since it is time we just wrote hour. Okay. So now we got speed is equal to x minus 8 per kilometer per hour. So you guys might be wondering, already we just took uniform speed as x, and here we are just taking another one speed. Don't get confused between uniform speed and speed. Okay, both are exactly similar, they just twisted the word. As you guys know, most probably they usually ask in indirect way, am I right? So likewise here also they are just confusing us, don't get confused in this. Okay. So uniform speed we just took it as x. Okay, don't just say that it is uniform. Let us take, let the speed be x. Okay, but it is really important to mark it as uniform speed. That's because as per the question it is uniform speed, that's why I just wrote uniform speed. Okay, and then we just wrote speed is equal to x minus 8 kilometer per hour. Why? Because in the second statement they just mentioned speed. Okay, so that's all. It doesn't make that much difference. Okay, so you don't get confused between uniform speed and speed. Okay. So as you guys know we got the speed value. Now let us move to the next statement, that is then it would have taken 3 hours more to cover the same distance. Okay. So here they are saying that if the speed is 8 km per hour less, then it would have taken 3 hours more to cover the same distance. Okay. So here what we can just do is we can just write time is equal to 480x plus 3. Why? Because when they guessed that if the speed is 8 km per hour less, then they are saying that it would have taken 3 hours more. So here it is 3 hours more, this is really important. So it would have taken 3 hours more to cover the same distance. Okay, so same distance means this one, that is 480 km. Okay, it would have taken 480 km distance. To cover that distance we need 3 hours more. Okay. So they are just guessing the hours. So here what we can just do is, so we can just write time is equal to 480 by x plus 3. Okay, why? Because here they mentioned 3 hours more. 3 hours more means addition. So as you guys know more means addition, so we can just write plus 3. Okay, so plus 3 we just wrote it as it is. And then we can just write it in bracket. Why? Because we should write h. H means hour. Okay. So whenever we get time we are supposed to write hour. Okay. So this time. Okay. So when we just time, when we are finding the value for the time, we should write hour. That is really important. Okay. So now as you guys know, we got the time value. So now we are going to be taking this time value, not this time value. Okay. So this was the old one. So now we got a new time value. So as you guys know, we got this time value, this speed value and the distance value, that is 480 kilometer. So for that we are going to be framing a new formula. Okay. So as you guys know, we got the speed value, time value and the distance value. So first of all, for finding the time, we just applied this formula, am I right? So that is time is equal to distance by speed. So we just applied this formula. So now what we are going to do is, we are going to be getting the speed to the left side, then it changes into multiplication. Okay. So when I get this speed to this side, then it changes into multiplication, that is speed into time is equal to distance. So you guys might be wondering how it is multiplication. Why? Because since here it is division, it is divided by speed, it is in the division form. When I get it to the left side, it changes into multiplication. So we got a new formula, we are going to be applying this formula. Okay. Okay. So as you guys know, the speed value is x minus 8 and the time value is 480 by x plus 3, and then the distance value is 480 kilometers. So we are going to be applying these values. Okay. So the speed value, it was x minus 8, we shall write it in bracket. Why? Because here it is multiplication. And then what was the time value? So the time value was 480 by x plus 3 and close the bracket is equal to distance was 480. Okay. So now as you guys can see, we got this one. Here when you just look at the brackets, here we can just multiply this term with this one. So how we did it in the first question? In the first question we just multiplied the values if they are inside the bracket. Okay. So here since they are inside the bracket, so we shall multiply this term with this one. So let me just show that. So we are going to be multiplying x with this one as well as this one. Okay. So x with 480 divided by x and x with 3. Okay. And then minus 8 with 480 divided by x and minus 8 with 3. Okay. I just marked it like this for your understanding. Okay. So now let us multiply them. So x into 480 by x is 480 x divided by x. Okay. So let me just show that. So don't get confused in this. Okay. So it is really easy to do that. So here it is x into 480. So since we are doing x into 480 divided by x, so x into 480 divided by x, so 480 into x is 480x and divided by x, like this only I just got the value. Okay. Don't get confused in this. Okay. So now we just multiplied x with 480 divided by x and we are going to be multiplying x with 3. Okay. So x into 3 is 3x. So it is plus 3x. Why? Because plus into plus is plus. Alright. So now let us multiply minus 8 with 480 divided by x and 3. Okay. So like this and like this. So when we multiply 8 with 480 divided by x, we get 3840 divided by x. Okay. So it is minus 3840 divided by x. You guys might be wondering how. So let me just show that. So it is 8 minus 8 into 480 divided by x. Am I right? So first of all, let's multiply the numbers. So 8 into 480 is 3840 by x and minus into plus is minus. So like that we got minus 3840 divided by x. Okay. And then next one is minus 8 into 3. So 8 3s are, so 8 3s are, it is 24. Okay. So 8 3s are, it is 24. So minus into plus is minus. So now we got minus 24 is equal to the distance value as it is, that is 480. Alright. So now we got the values and we just simplified them. So now when you just look at these terms or something, so here we can just cancel this x and this x, am I right? So we can just cancel this one and this one. So now we get 480. So since we cancel them, we get 480 plus 3x minus 3840 divided by x, of course, minus 24 is equal to 480. That's all. Okay. So now when you just look at it, so here we can just take LCM, am I right? So we can just write 3x divided by 1. Why? Because simply if we write it like that means of course it is 1. Okay. So of course you guys know to do this. Why? Because in the lower classes from 7th standard itself we are doing this, am I right? So likewise we are going to be taking LCM. So when we just take LCM of 1 and x, we get x. Okay. So as you guys know, we get x. So when we just took LCM, we got x, am I right? That means we can just multiply with the number in which we should get x in the denominator. That is the rule in this, am I right? So what we are going to do is now we have 3x divided by 1, am I right? So we shall divide multiply it with x. Why? Because when we just multiply it with the x, then only we will get the denominator as x. So 3x into 3x into x is 3x square. Why? Because x into x is x square divided by x, am I right? So now we got 3x square divided by x. Okay. So next one we just do LCM of this one and this x, am I right? So we are going to be taking this one, that is minus 3840 divided by x. So here also we should just multiply with some number in which we should get the denominator as x. So we shall multiply it with 1. Why? Because already we have x right over here. So when we just multiply 1 into x, of course it is x. That's why no need to multiply with some other number. Okay. So 1 into minus 3840 is minus 3840, and then divided by 1 into x is x, of course. So now we got this one and this one as answer, am I right? So now let me just write them right over here. So we got 3x divided by x minus 3840 divided by x, am I right? So I mean here it is x square. So I just wrote these values as it is. So as you guys know, I just wrote these values here, that is 3x square by x, and then minus 3840 divided by x. I just wrote the same value as it is. So here both the denominators are similar, am I right? So we can just write it 3x square minus 3840 divided by x. So we can just write it like this. Why? Because both the denominators are similar. So I just wrote x is common. Okay. I hope you guys understood this. So we are going to be writing this one right over here. Okay. Why? Because after doing the LCM method and after doing those stuffs and all, we got this one as the answer. So we are going to be writing that. So as you guys know, we got, after doing the LCM, first of all let's write 480, and then after doing the LCM and those stuffs and all, we got plus 3x minus 3840 divided by x, and then minus 24 as it is, and then is equal to, it is 480. Okay. As you guys know, after doing the LCM method, we got these values. So here it is 3x square. Okay. Why? Because after doing the LCM, we got 3x square minus 3840 divided by x minus 24 is equal to 480. Okay. So now what we are going to do is, I am going to be writing this as it is. So I just wrote it as it is. So now what I am going to do is, I am going to be getting this 480 to the right side. Okay. So when I get this 480 to the right side, then it changes into minus 480 since it is plus right over here. Okay. So for that, first of all, let us write these things as it is, that is 3x square minus 3840 divided by x minus 24 is equal to this 480, we can just write it as it is. And then when I get this 480 to the right side it changes into minus 480 since it is plus right over here. So, now again we shall write these things as it is. Alright. So, 480 minus 480, of course it is 0, and then now I am going to be getting this minus 24 to the right side. Okay. So, most probably I am just taking all this constant term to the right side. So, for that we shall just write these things as it is. So, when I get it to the right side it changes into plus 24. Why? Because here it is minus 24. Okay. So, now finally we just simplified those steps. So, now what I am going to do is I am going to be getting this x to the right side. When I get it to the right side, then it becomes multiplication. Why? Because here it is in the form of division. Am I right? So, it is divided by x. So, when I get it to the right side, it changes into 24 into x. Okay. So, now let us write 3x square minus 3840 is equal to, so 24 into x is 24x. Okay. So, if you guys want to know, let me just write it. So, 24 into x it is 24x. Okay. Likewise, I got the answer. So, now let us write 3x square minus 3840. So, now let us get this 24x to the left side. When I get it to the left side, it changes into minus 24x since it is plus right over here. Okay. And then is equal to 0. So, now we got an equation. So, when you just look at it, you guys might be wondering, here we got an equation, but we don't have a like terms to solve it. Am I right? So, of course, you guys are correct that we can't just solve it, but here when you just look at it, we can just multiply them with 3. So, we get this one in 3 table, this also, this digit also we get it in 3 table, this also we can just get it in 3 table. So, here I am going to be taking 3 as common. So, of course, you guys know we don't have any like terms or something to solve it, am I right? But here when you just look at this equation, so here we have 3840, that is of course minus 3840 minus 24. We get all these numbers in the 3 table. Of course, yeah, I am right. So, we get all these numbers in the 3 table. So, we can just take 3 as common and we can just do those steps. So, you guys might be wondering what steps. So, let me just show that. When I just do those steps, you guys might get to know what is that step. So, we did it in the polynomial lesson. Okay, so that is the second lesson. In exercise 4.1, exercise, in the second exercise we just did that. Okay, so likewise we are going to be doing here also. So, first of all, here everything is multiple by 3. So, we are going to be taking 3 as common and in brackets. So, we are going to be multiplying with variable or some number in which we should get this term. Okay. So, here already we have 3 here, 3 as common here. So, we should get x square. So, 3 into x square is 3x square, and then here we have 3840. Okay. So, here when we just look at this third table, we get 1 3 is 3, 3 2 is 6. So, let me just show that. So, let me just show it right over here. Okay. So, 3840, am I right? So, here when you just cancel it, 1 3 is 3 and 8 we do not get it in 3 table, but we get 6 in 3 table, that is smallest to 8. So, 2 3s are it is 8, 2 3s are it is 6, and then as you guys know, here we got 6, we have 2 balance. So, we can just put the balance right over here. So, now it is 24. So, 24 means we get 24 in 3 table, that is 8 3s are 24, and here we have 0, we can just write it as it is. So, likewise we get, when we just multiply with 3 we get 1280. Okay. Of course, you guys know to do this. So, minus 1280. So, you guys might be wondering how. So, if you guys want to multiply 3 into minus 1280, we will get this answer, that is minus 3840. Okay. So, this is the rule. So, whatever number we multiply, whatever variables we should multiply, we should get the value right over here. Okay. Whatever value we have, we should get the exact same value no matter what. Okay, so when we just multiply 3 into minus 1280, we get minus 3840. Okay, so that's why it is correct. Okay, it is correct. So that's why we just took 3 as common. Why? Because when we just multiply, we get the perfect answer, the perfect value that is right over here. Okay, and then here we have minus 24x. So do you guys remember at what time we get 24 in 3 table? So 3 8s are, it is 25. Am I right? So 3 8s are, it is 24, and then here we have minus. So we shall write minus. Why? Because plus and minus is, plus into minus is minus, and 3 into 8 is 24, and here we have x, so we can just write the x as it is and close the bracket is equal to 0. Alright. So after taking the 3 common, we got these values. Am I right? So now no need to care about this 3 anymore. Okay, so we can just write this equation, that is x square minus 1280 minus 8x, am I right, is equal to 0. Okay, so here we just wrote the equation as it is, but here it is not in the proper order. Why? Because first we should have the x square term and then we should have the x term. So we should write the x term as it is, and then at last it is constant term. Okay, is equal to 0. So we just wrote it in the order wise. Don't get confused in this. So you guys might be wondering, why didn't I take this 3? So according to the question, that is the second question, we are supposed to form the quadratic equation. Am I right? So we just form the quadratic equation. Here the main thing and the important thing in this is we are supposed to frame the quadratic equation. But here after just taking the 3 common, we got some values, and then when we just take it out, it was a quadratic equation. Why? Because we have the square term and then x term and then the constant term. So we just didn't care about this 3 anymore. Okay, so nothing will happen if we just don't care about that 3. Okay, so remember, don't just stop any equation until right over here. So if you can take the number as common, then you can just take the number as common. How we did it right over here, that one we just took it as 3 as common and we just solve it. How we did it in the second lesson, that is the polynomial lesson. So it might be easy for you guys to do it. Why? Because you guys know how to solve it and how we did it in the polynomial lesson. Okay, so without taking any common numbers, don't just conclude that it is a quadratic equation. So okay, I have a chance to conclude it right over here. Why? Because here everything is perfect. We have the constant term, we have the x term, and of course the x square term. But I didn't just do that. Why? Because I had the chance to take it as common. That's why I took it as common, and then after taking it common, also we got the quadratic equation. Okay, we got the x square term, x term, and the constant term. So of course you guys know it is a quadratic equation. So this is the required quadratic equation. So finally we solved fourth subdivision. Okay, so this was the last subdivision, and that to the end of this exercise 4.1. okay, so in the next video I am going to be coming up with exercise 4.2. in that we are going to be using the methods, that is the factorization methods and so on. Okay, so we are going to be using that method and we are going to be solving the quadratic equation. All right.
Thank you guys for watching this video. Please like this video, share it to your friends and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have any doubt, you can comment me in the comment section. You can find my videos in the playlist. You can also